get them cheating. No, they're not cheating, no.
The Premiership on ITV1 with Coca-Cola. It's a beautiful day.
Good evening. There's been a bit of a game on tonight, as you probably heard. Two teams, one aim, to win the Premiership. For Manchester United, the cupboard had looked strangely bare. This was a last chance for silverware this season. For Arsenal, the double was on. But what a place to try and win it. Yes, Manchester United had to win tonight or see Arsenal crowned champions at Old Trafford. Well, Terry's here to applaud the winners and console the losers. Manchester United against Arsenal then, with Clive Tilsley.
On the eve of Sven-Göran Eriksson's own decision day, Nicky Butt is missing from the United midfield because of a training injury. So Saber Veron becomes a centre for attention once again. He plays, a weary Ruud van Nistelrooy does not. Diego Forlan partners Ollie Solskjaer in attack. No Tony Adams to confront them. Martin Keown returns to the Arsenal starting 11, along with Edu and also Kanu, who starts a Premiership game for the first time since January. Like Van Nistelrooy, Dennis Bergkamp is a substitute. They have scored in every Premiership match. They have won the last 11. They are unbeaten away from Highbury, but Arsenal are still not champions. The trophy resides here at Old Trafford for now. Who is it going home with? Kanu up in front of Sylvestre. Here's Parler. It's found a way through to Wiltor. It was a real chance too, deflected wide for a corner kick. But Sylvain Wiltor found space between defenders. And but for the outstretched foot of Laurent Blanc, may well have opened Arsenal's account within 90 seconds. Now Veron. It's a late challenge by Edu on Solskjaer, but Manchester United have possession, and Scholes has found Roy Keane loitering out on that left-hand side. Links with Sylvestre. Forlan looking to tee up Paul Scholes. Was always rising, it was deflected, just clipped an Arsenal defender on its way through. But Paul Scholes, who gave Manchester United the lead at Highbury back in November when the two last met in the Premiership, almost striking first here. Arsenal asleep as Manchester United work a short corner, and Veron in, and Brown's there! And another corner has been given. Wes Brown has never scored for Manchester United. It would have been a fine time to score. Keane into the path of Neville. Veron. Away by Campbell. Ljungberg coming between Veron and Keane. Throw in given. Ljungberg felt he was fouled by Saber Veron. Edu, and that was late from Scholes. Crashing into Edu. Temperature rising. Not an altogether untypical Paul Scholes challenge. Well, we've seen Sir Alex Ferguson's verdict. And there is Paul Durkin's verdict, yellow. Cole, and Neville very late on Wiltor. Paul Durkin is taking his time over the booking. It's maybe just to try to take a little of the heat out of the situation, but it is clearly a yellow card offence. Caught in possession by Veron. Vieira wins it back, coming together with Keane, and the Carl is coming out of the pocket again. Manchester United have picked up yellow cards on 3 occasions in the last 5 minutes or so. Scholes, Neville, and now Keane. Very high. Solskjaer making a run, Campbell coming across. Every time Manchester United open a door, somebody closes it. Long, Keane, helped away by Keane this time. Keane did well to retrieve it. His volley was straight down the throat of David Seaman, but he is certainly standing up and being counted. Cole. Both making the run ahead of him. Cole's low cross, but Wiltor was the only other Arsenal player inside the Manchester United penalty area. It has had all the intensity you would have anticipated. It has had 1 or 2 yellow cards, and you would have anticipated that, but no goals as yet. And although you wouldn't know it from looking at his face, that will suit Arsene Wenger. Half-time at Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 0. For Sylvain Wiltor's time. Arsenal going where Tottenham went a decade earlier with Charlie George's cup final winner. Edu will take the corner. Header away is as far as Wiltor, who miscues badly. Vieira under pressure from Keane, turned away by Solskjaer. Draw for Arsenal, who have clinched their double. Draw for Manchester United would actually keep them in control of second spot in the Premiership, and with it automatic qualification for the league stages of the Champions League. But do you think they'll settle for a draw? No, neither do I. Brown, Scholes. Teased Ljungberg and found Neville. Forlan is onside. 3 waiting in the centre, one of them is Veron. It might still come for Giggs. It does come for Seaman. Always plenty of zest about Diego Forlan's play. Late by Vieira and Scholes. Their Champions League exits in Turin against Juventus, Arsenal have won all 9 matches they played in Premiership and FA Cup, and during that spell have conceded just 1 goal, a penalty scored by Teddy Sheringham for Tottenham at Highbury a month ago. That is the size of the task facing Manchester United, the most prolific goal-getters in England, as they try to break Arsenal down. They want it, and they want it now! Sylvain Wiltor gives Arsenal the lead at Old Trafford. It could be one of those goals that becomes part of a club's legend. Freddie Ljungberg not the scorer this time, but it was he that capitalised on the error to set it up. Sylvestre caught in possession. Ljungberg's run fed by Wiltor, who was never again picked up. Bartes save, Wiltor turn it in, and Arsenal are within touching distance of their double. They are writing their own script of the theatre of dreams. Forlan, out by Edu again, Youngberg. All saw that well. Scholes, one has gone on here. Been undersold though by Scholes' pass. Parner ran into Youngberg, but they got away with it. Fast feet from Edu. Foul by Blanc on Youngberg. Neville kicked the ball against the prostrate figure of Freddie Youngberg, and Phil Neville already has a yellow card to his name. The referee is reaching for a card here. When he brought Youngberg down, I think it was worthy of a booking, but there Neville kicked the ball against Youngberg. One or two Manchester United fans are making their way to the exits. More than one or two Arsenal fans waving them goodbye. Youngberg goes down as Van Nistelrooy comes back. Wiltor has the ball, he has Edu up with him. Wiltor has turned away from Edu. He's managed to link up with Parler though. Happy to see away the second, Ray Parler. Down in the corner where the Arsenal fans are gathered. It is a goal kick. Youngberg was very unhappy that Van Nistelrooy had a nibble at him then after the ball had gone. Van Nistelrooy lost it. Now, how meaningful was that contact with Youngberg's stomach? Vieira winning it again. Youngberg up towards Wiltor, the goal scorer now. Can he possibly run it off with a second? Vieira is in the move. Dixon is in the move. Parler is in the move. This is Ray Parler. Shot through Sylvester, it's Lee Dixon as the furthest man forward. Fabian Barthez grabs it and then grabs some afters with Dixon. They can barely bring themselves to look. What a way to complete the double. What a place to complete the double. Old Trafford crowns the Premiership champions again, but this time it's Arsenal. 4 days after ending their 4-year wait for success, Sylvain Wiltor's goal for Arsene Wenger's team makes them cup winners again, and this time it's the Barclaycard Premiership trophy. And he will deck the marble halls with silverware. He has dethroned the reigning champions in their own palace, despite all the suspensions, despite all of the challenges. It's the Arsenal flag which is back at the peak of the English game. A new stadium is on the horizon, and they will see this as a base camp from which to climb higher after they've celebrated properly. A night they will never, ever forget. The final score is Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.
Congratulations, Arsenal. It's been a fantastic season for you.
It has been a magnificent season, and tonight again we were solid and didn't give in the first half, and in the second half we made the difference. This team is absolutely great mental strength, great spirit, and of course great quality.
It was a really good night for us. We knew it was going to be tough tonight, and after Saturday as well, the lads put a real lot of effort into that Saturday. But you know, we had that extra little bit tonight and kept going. It was always going to be a tough game, but we got that goal, and it's a fantastic night. Not just for us, but all our fans and everyone back in North London who couldn't get tickets tonight. I'm sure they're having a party as well now, and it's a fantastic night for us.
What mattered to us is just to win the title, and we went through a really long season with so many injuries in our team, and I think every player who fit in worked really hard, and through the season we fight really hard to get where we are now. So I think we're really pleased and really happy to win the double.
And it's amazing that you haven't lost away from home. I mean, that's been a key as well, hasn't it?
That has been a key because we won 14 games away from home and had 5 draws and scored in every game for the whole season. That is a tremendous achievement.
To win it at Old Trafford is even better. You know, the lads won it at Anfield in 1989, but you know this is even better to win it at Old Trafford. So the lads are delighted.
They were the champions last year, and not losing the game tonight, we could still lose the title. And we did it in a special style, and I think to win it in a special style meant to come here and win here.
Well, they're the best team. I mean, I think when you lose 6 games at home, you don't deserve to win the league. And that's the situation we found ourselves tonight. I thought we kept a good momentum early on in the game, but as the game wore on, when they scored, we were never in it.
They've had an amazing away record as well this season.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is obviously a key thing.
I think that's been the main reason they win the league. And in fairness, they've won the last 12 games, Gary, and you can't dispute that. That's fantastic form.
Where will you be next season? Because we keep reading about Real Madrid. Will you be with Arsenal next season?
Of course, I have 2 years left on my contract, and I never say I wanted to leave, so I don't want to think about it anyway. I just want to enjoy the day and just have a really good party for the devil.
Well, fabulous night for Arsenal, Terry, and the away record, phenomenal. 19 games, unbeaten, hasn't been done since Preston North End in 1800 and frozen to death, I think.
So. Yeah, but they used to play against teams like London Rubber in those days, didn't they?
They were tough to beat. But no Pires, obviously a long-term injury, no Henry, no Bergkamp in the 11. It shows the depth of the squad and the all-round ability.
And the spirit. They've got a terrific spirit in that side, there's no doubt about that. But don't let's forget Freddie Ljungberg. I've got to say, he has had, in the last 44 starts for Arsenal, he's scored 23 goals. Now, that is as good as a striker's form. So if you've got good strikers and you've got a midfield player getting that amount of goals, that's a terrific boost for your team.
We hope there's a slight dip in form when Sweden meet England on June the 2nd.
Put something in his tea, I think.
That's right. What was the overall key to Arsenal's success this season, do you think?
I think they grew during this season. They had a little problem at the back. Campbell went into the team and didn't really start off particularly well. Cole came through as a young boy. Lauren went to right back at midfield. But they had that problem. They was always good midfielding up front, but they got better in defence and got better. And I think Campbell, his game when he played at Tottenham Hotspur, and I think that was a turning point for him. He had a terrific game there, and I think he felt he was unfairly treated. And he got angry, played well, and never really looked back, I don't think. Yeah. But whereas Liverpool, you know, they had the defence right, and they didn't really get their midfield in front until a bit later in the season. Man United always had problems with with their defence early on. They had a great run and come through, but you know, if you lose 9 games in a season, you can't expect to win the league. And as I guessed, Alex Ferguson would be particularly upset if 6 of those were at home.
Absolutely. What do you think about the signings that people ask questions about? Veron, for example, and Blanc. Do you think that they?
I think Blanc had a problem settling down early on, but the second half of the season I thought he's done really well, played well against tonight. Veron is, no doubt about it, in my opinion, is an excellent player. I think the Italian game most likely has suited him better. At the moment, it looks like it was a slower build-up the first 2/3 of the field, and there's that quickness and speed in the last third of the field. Now, in England, it's a different game. It's a fight all over the park, you know. And I think he's tried really hard to try and do his defensive side, but he does find that a little bit more difficult, especially when the defence weren't doing well. If he went into a team like Liverpool, who's really strong, he could most likely get on with his game and not worry too much about that. So there has been settling down problems for those players, but Blanc, to be fair to him, I think he's improved a lot.
Just going back to Arsenal, do you think Vieira will be playing for them next season?
Well, I think that I would have had a bet that he wouldn't have been, but he does look. He has seemed in his interviews and his game a lot happier in the last sort of third of the season. Whereas earlier on, I think it looked to me like they said to him, "Look, stay 1 more year, even if you're unhappy, give us a chance to replace one." That was my feelings. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. Nicky
Butt was injured, as you probably heard, but should be all right for the World Cup. He would be out for 2 or 3 weeks. And one newspaper article tonight, United line up Anelka, it says here. We don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they're reporting. Well, shortly we'll have a brief look at tonight's other Premiership match at Anfield. But first, a little reminder, just 22 days to go. long old season. Well, the defeat for Manchester United meant a Liverpool win tonight would put them into second place and maybe relegate United to an awkward qualifying match for next season's Champions League. Blackburn were at Anfield.
The night before the big announcement, and plenty for the England boss to consider. Still plenty for Liverpool to play for too. The important prize of finishing second above Manchester United. Danny Murphy was the first of the World Cup possibles to get noticed, managing to put Gerard Houlier's men in front from the deck midway through the first half. 5 minutes later, Damien Duff celebrated his confirmed call to Ireland's World Cup cause with a start and finish to a late challenger for goal of the season. Blackburn fans will be hoping he won't be doing that for Liverpool next season. Whether Nicholas Anelka will still be wearing Mersey red remains unclear. This sort of finish won't have harmed his chances. 39 minutes played, Liverpool 2-1 ahead. Relaxed in the sanctuary of mid-table, Blackburn came back again just after half-time. Andy Cole's 49th minute leveller for Rovers isn't likely to be enough to force a late entry into Sven's 23. But the smile that greeted the goal suggests there's still plenty more where that came from. And that went for the evening in general. Sami Hyypiä rose to head his 5th goal of the season to restore Liverpool's lead, before an all-England finale to a free-flowing game. Matt Jansen is many people's tip to be the almost traditional shock inclusion in the World Cup party, left alone to score his 50th Blackburn goal in the 80th minute, yet still not the final word. That went to one of the definites, Emil Heskey's strike sealing a 4-3 Liverpool win. And one less worry line in the Eriksson household. He got up to finish the game.
So the table, Arsenal's 12th Premiership win in a row clinches their 12th league title and their 2nd league and FA Cup double in 4 years. Liverpool's win over Blackburn means they move above United into 2nd and a possible automatic Champions League place for next season. Well, on Saturday, it's our last Premiership show of the season. We're on at the slightly earlier time of 10:15. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll find the last new Premiership entrance for next season. It's Birmingham against Norwich in the First Division playoff final. But tonight, the Championship was once again won at Old Trafford, but the title went south. A glorious double for Arsenal. Good night from us.